Where do we adjust our expectations here?
Right, I think the important thing to know is the fundamental difference with Haven, right? There's more of a reliance from the attacking team to kind of play that default, and there's way more opportunities for that defensive kind of proactive aggression that we can see. So I want to see Ballista stick with it. I want to see them try and set the pace. The thing for me is, again, this is another test for the Heretics default, right? It's how well they can kind of deal with that, how well they can read those early round signs that Ballista use. Because the one thing is, they always invest it's 2 or 3 sets of utility on these pushes. So I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them repeat what they did on defense on Bind, and that goes without saying. But this time around, I do think they have a better opportunity to showcase it. Or actually, use the spy cam there. The timing is perfect to come back and check it because he catches all this information in the push.
Yeah, but he's also just caught a boatload of utility, and we do have a little bit more explosive element to this now with Jet kind of coupled into this one, but Heretics right there with it. And I say Heretics, Avova just finding a double out of nowhere. And it looks like they're going to fight fire with fire. This is a messy, chaotic round without UI. Hopefully we can get that one on unless my brain's just missing it. It does look like we are down to just... well, bold at this position. Tries to bait it out, faking the plant. Let's look towards heaven. Seeing a gun barrel at the very least, and that HP is going to be a big problem for him.
Let's see. Let's have the spike, so he could potentially plant us. I'm not sure of utility available to really stop this from happening. Oh, just trying to tap it out. Rubino only has the recon. He just caught a glimpse of him there. He's going to fire the recon down as a little bit of a distraction. Drops, picks up the kill again. Balled, very low HP, so very difficult for him to get out there. The timing being his demise there. But again, just the trades come through just so quick. So quick when Ballista actually decide to commit on here. And, you know, Heretics actually standing strong. They try and contest site control early on before the spike even gets, you know, comfortably onto site.
Yeah, and it looked like Heretics there... Again, we talked about obviously Ballista adjusting because they were the ones who lost map 1, but then I also do want to see Heretics adjusting on this side too. I feel like this is something that maybe they could actually kind of bring out a little bit more of themselves here and show this ability, because last time around, at least on the defensive side for Heretics, it was quite tricky. They definitely got pushed a fair amount, so I want to see that next level from them. It'll be a brutal wake-up call, of course. Now let's see what happens over towards A long as well, see if there's any sort of early fight there. No, that Cypher's playing very passive. I'm keeping my eye on that Raze here. You can see that early little information peak down towards middle, backs away from it, and this is Ballista playing quite default-esque.
I almost didn't recognize him for a second there.
Yeah, I was like, wait, who's on which side?
But I guess them playing for that C-long orb early on in the round. You can see now Baddy G got himself tucked all the way at the bottom of long ramp. Again, they're all going to drift over this way. Pora actually going to creep around. He does, and Baddy's going to find it. There's a second player stacked up behind default with Snooki. He's going to swing and find one in return.
UXV really wanted to get that kill as soon as he could. Now, Nuki's still being a problem. He should be overwhelmed now, but he could have been a bigger threat. They've had to invest a fair amount to get rid of him on this, which might make that post plant a little weaker.
First, I almost missed that. The round 2 Seekers coming out of bold.
Yeah. So, building up early, and this Lol tries to get ahead, but now in no man's land, still gets bailed out by Rubino. Nice work from him. But you can see the crossfire still holds. Nothing yet to disrupt this between the Jet and Killjoy. Kremen probably first contact, and then the swing from Jet. No, tucks it the other way around, which could have been maybe better handled. Avova undoes it. That was the more favorable fight for him. He's happy on that retake if he gets a clean fight. That crossfire, I think, slightly lost out on its potency then.
It really did. I mean, with the Jet in hell kind of stood, obviously QXV, sorry, drifting out of hell slightly. When he's holding this angle here, you can see Karemi's not got full vision. He can get peeked for free. So he has to swing on that, and Karemi doesn't. The first kill comes through completely uncontested. Heretics brute forcing their way back into that one, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely did. And look, if they're starting to feel themselves, confidence now starting to build up after map 1, and you know what? They need a better defensive side, I feel, in this to kind of give us a good look as to what the Heretics side can do. And they are still one of the most well-rounded teams, I would say, out there. They have a depth to their style that not many other teams do have at the moment. So this is an interesting look. I want to see what they change up here, how they continue to look going forward. Of course, the money will be favorable towards Heretics in this round. We have Sheriffs, I think, no, there is actually all sheriffs across the board. It just updated for Bolt, up against, you know, SMGs. So it's not a heavily favored round towards Heretics, because that can happen. Batty G just gonna give Nookie a free little haircut, say, hey, no worries, look, quarantine's been hard on all of us. Here's a free one.
See, Ballista now will stack up around that pick. It was on to B, but looking like they might try and pop their way into Garage here. Lowell gonna throw out a slow just to way off, and Batty does creep through it once again, but Lowell waiting for it. Let's see. They're dealing with that recon ball. Is going to give away the information. There are a couple more. Paranoia comes through, but actually Lowell gets deep enough in front of it.
Oh, that's so well done. Handling all three. And yes, they trade back in, but the favorable numbers, of course, now sitting still towards Heretics. And look at this depth. They are not allowing these sheriffs to find that perfect form, and Bold is now being surrounded slowly but surely, just cornered in towards Garage. Spike being left a little further out gets a little bit of a problem, and Avova's not going to let that get anywhere. There is no chances to be found in this. Avova, well handled. And the one thing I do want to say, and this is, I guess, something that comes with time and playing the opponent. We don't know how many times Heretics have had to play someone like Ballista. You get used to them taking liberties, right? There was, in Counter-Strike, for example, you had Stewie, the smoke criminal, right? No one expects people to walk smokes. He was doing it all day long, catching people, pop flashing through it. The way more commonplace now, of course, in the FPS world, that's a very traditional thing to almost go to. But initially, that would catch so many people off. You have to now be expecting Ballista to always be trying to aggress forward. It just seems like they'll walk through slows, they'll take every fight that they potentially can, and Heretics seem a little bit more aware of that now.
The thing, right? It's one of the big differences from having a Sky and a Phoenix in as opposed to a Breach. You throw down a smoke, it gives them space to move up. They can pop out of that so easily, and Ballista do it time and time again. But I mean, that's a perfect example there with Lowell. He throws down the slow and he checks it. It's that discipline to check it, to anticipate that coming through. Look at back again. Round 3, this scoreline again. Let's look at the ultimate progress. I keep looking at it for Ballista, and I'm like, Batty G's on the running back now. Bold basically back to the Seekers, and you can see they go over to C long, collect the orb. Now they're coming towards A. They're maximizing the ult progress every single round.
Oh, Avova's in trouble. I don't know if he's getting out of this in time. 50 HP, just takes a mad TP. He actually makes it out of this. Avova's still alive. And a problem, but no... Avova's just so snappy today. The adjustment's sick. And now BST are in trouble. You can see them now being piled in on, just being chipped away out the push towards the side. Batty G's seen it, but by now it's still going to be effective. The flash comes in, isolates one, but it's Nookie still good for 2. And you can see Batty G with it all to do in front of him and no leg to stand on. Just stunning play from Heretics, and Nookie as well.
Yeah, Batty actually allowing Nookie to slip onto back default there. And again, he has to use his flashes, right, to get a decent, clean peek onto the defensive spawn. Right here, you can see he actually double team flashes. Karemi tries to turn from it, but this second one here, it catches him just as he gets peeked from Heaven and Nookie on backside. Unfortunate there, and again, Ballista usually fairly on point with the utility usage in terms of synergy and avoiding that thing. Again, one thing you can always know, you can see it time and time again with how coordinated they are around Bold's flashes and where they come in. It's very rare you actually see that from Ballista.
So there has been a timeout called, or not sure decided that was coming through, but
it was Ballista.
I imagine it would be at this point.
Like
maybe
a reset,
try and get a grip. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of talk through the economy, where they're at, what they need to do here, because the frustrating part is they are getting spike plants, but they're not getting their post plants. They're losing too many people either instantly, or, you know, the retakes have been pretty sublime. They haven't been able to get away with that bullish style.
There's not a lot of space behind the sites on Haven, so they can't really play that hyper aggro post plant situation. And like I said, even in round 1, Heretics putting up the fight. You know, again, in that scenario, it was Avova. As soon as Avova's swinging, there was a second player invested to try and stop the plant from coming in. And that's a little bit of a switch up from Bind, I'll be honest.
It is a big change. UXV walking on through, standard, lol, all too aware. Jet is in, the flash comes out. You can see the idea here. On the back of the peak, they get the flash going to try and force that fight to be favorable, but once again, Nookie says no! 3 huge kills, Batty G down, UXV down. That has been incredible, impeccable impact once again by Nookie.
I mean, we were talking about this. Obviously, Niso stepped up big time to put the stops on Shakalaka with this hyper aggro playstyle, but Nuki really worth his weight in gold right now.
Spike down, C.
A clean hold. Again, lesser equipment for them, but the utility usage on point once again. They get 2 clean flashes onto backside. Nuki actually, I think, counter peek. He was playing anti-flash all the way back on steps there.
Look, anti-flash is a whole discussion that you just have to pull into play against this side. They are still pretty dependent on it when you see that Sky and Phoenix coming in. Avova going to be adjusting, at least trying to find that information. But now they do have, I guess, 2 dedicated here. Let's see if there's going to be any more. Oh, Pora gets a freebie, just the fade away towards QXV. The ultimate comes out. Nuki's not afraid by any margin. This man is standing, and he will not relent. He pushes further forward. Batty G, yeah, makes it towards the side, but now he's surrounded, tries to make more from it. Gets down lol, surprisingly. But there simply aren't enough numbers when Nuki is taking 3 every single round.
This is switch up, but again, I know I just mentioned it in the previous round, but here on the buy round, Heretics happy to brawl. And they're fighting so deep, it's not as if they're fighting, yes, Pora gets the kill from heaven, but Nuki's then, he's pushing sewers. This is complete switch up from what we saw on Bind, where, you know, almost Ballista were getting away with murder in terms of being able to get close enough to find first contact. And actually right there, like that kind of aggression comes through after the Seekers is popped. So you know Ballista are ready to explode on that. Exactly,
and this is why I wanted to see someone, at least on the defensive side, be aggressive enough. Play into it, because we saw that Ballista were able to get away with whatever they wanted, but with someone like Nuki showing absolutely no fear, it's really tricky to keep being, you know, as I said, in their face. Now they finally had almost a clean site take, but then here we go. Already one's gone down. Batty G going to try and make some space here, but the flash, they're all too aware. They're sitting anti-flash, they're sitting deep on this. Pora even expecting where Batty G was going to be on the swing back through, and Rubino, Nuki on the flank. This is, again, good work, but Bold re-aggresses. They sent in one, it wasn't good enough, they doubled down on it. But it's Nuki, and Nuki this time unable to get away with the shenanigans that he was getting away with before. And finally, Ballista get one on the board.
Yeah, I just want to say, it's so weird. Batty ults there from outside. Again, he wants to maximize the distance he can push on that run it back, right? But nobody is holding heaven after Pora already finds that first kill. I think it was QXV, right? He finds that kill onto QXV, and he's allowed to re-peek Batty G as he comes back, excuse me, as he comes back out of his ultimate. But really, really weird. I mean, what is everybody else on site doing there?
Get out of my way!
Another question. Batty G, oh, that is rough. And I like this push-up from the Cypher too. They are getting in their faces. This is Heretics saying, look, if you want to be doing this, we'll do it right back. A little bit deeper utility now over towards Banana, and look at this push-out again. It's been a murder. Already lulls down. But look at this readjust from Nuki. You don't expect a double dip on aggression, right? But Nuki's like, you gonna check on me? You will, but I'll still win. And Nuki can't quite convert on towards a second, but again, look, Heretics are playing a very brazen game of Valorant.
But she's still holding on to this. Batty G just walks up, dry peaks. Batty G's been literally healed for what seems like 200 HP this round. Back up to 99 now. Over on the flank, actually. Comes through fine Morphin. Still doable here if Rubino can find some value from spawn side.
Last player standing.
Here we go. No, actually, Karemi going to shut that down. The flash comes through. Rubino has to turn for it, but still gets the headshot. Bold falls now. 1v2 for Rubino.
Rubino knows how to turn a flash or two, but he can't get past Batty G. So, for now, that dry peek in that... Ooh. Batty G feeling bold to go for that. Again, this is such a kind of who dares wins almost at this point. Heretics doubling down on mid-aggression. You had, you know, the walkout from, was it LOL, I think, through Garage. He goes out, plays around the edge of the smoke, dies for it. And then you had Nuki go, I've seen what you've done. I'm gonna go do it too. Post up in middle. And again, it's interesting to see how Heretics are playing, because once again, the adjustment here is great. They're not allowing Ballista to get away with anything anymore.
It's all right, actually. Because if they're going to push towards B, that first Seeker going straight in tells them there's only one towards B site. Lowell got to deal with it, but 3 members of Heretics actually looking for a little bit of control over on A site. Lowell going to get caught in the molly, but Bold finishes it off.
Yeah, plants come in, but here comes Nookie, the kind of beast awaiting. Bringing in a satchel or 2, but the crossfire holds. They have 2 in position. Good trade for Rubino. You can see BST wants in, but he's got no bullets to play with. But QXV has his back again. Re-aggressing. They're doubling down on this. This is madness from these 2 teams. And of over. No way to get his HP back. No way to do much about this. BST just roasting himself for a little bit. Spike plant comes in. No ability to deny, and of over. This 10 HP. There's a little more. Could have been something, but is this going to be absolutely
slow,
phenomenal? Look, BST is the final boss here. You get past him, it's game on. But every corner contains a threat. The turret could have done it, doesn't. Now what does Avova do? Baiting on the TP, trying to adjust on the angle. Now the peek's going to be there, and Karemi keeps it safe. No problem, no more aggression that time from Ballista. Like, alright guys, let's calm it down for a sec, sit deep, let's just hold this crossfire.
Response though, I mean, Ballista finding 3 on the bounce. Economy wise, I mean, Heretics going to be able to back into this, but Lowell looks like he's going to be on a... Actually, yeah, Avova on the Sheriff, Rubino on the Spectre, Lowell on the Sheriff, so... Scrappy investment on their part into this. Rubino won off the Hunter's Fury as well. Maybe going to try and cure this round with some multiple. Actually, it was a B stack coming through, and I didn't actually notice Pora wasn't on A site this time around. And no utility there. Lockdown invested. They might find themselves some more success on A once again. Oh, what? The nade's going to...
BST. He just walked it. He just walked it. He just walked straight on through. Again, I've not seen players being this...
so unorthodox.
It really is. This is very much hyper-aggression as expected, but it's the confidence behind it. It's full commitment to it. It's no halfway markers here, but it's a 3v2. Rubino trying to work on in, but again, they are still in a little bit of a spot of bother as Rubino, of course, is working with slightly less now. Bold still very much allowing his position to be the one to be fought. Rubino will get the first check on it for free, and the spike's not planted. Now, that's an issue. Good trade for, one of the players coming in, but this is now a 1v2. Yes, Pora is low, but they've made a bit of a mounting out of a molehill here, and Pora can get an individual fight, a 1v1, untradeable. No. Oh my god. These rounds are too close. Too close.
Again, though, I'm not sure how Nuki's allowed to just run up and nade the lockdown. BST, again, just dry. Walks up long, peeks onto site. But there's nobody defending the lockdown. I mean, yes, they're sat deep in sewers there anticipating some sort of... Well, not even really anticipating some sort of push. They're waiting on the lockdown running down the clock, right? But Nuki just walks up for free and cancels that out. And again, it doesn't end up mattering, but just... weird that setup was so loose on the side of Ballista.
Nuki going in for the fight. It's who relents first between these two. He's taking a great deal of space. This should alleviate some of the pressure for Cypher. It's over. They can all try and get away from this now, but already Ballista, to no one's surprise, are on the site and then continuing further forward. Now the problem is completely blind. Still held down W to try and get as deep as he could on this one. Now I don't know if he actually really saw Rubino there, so I'm not sure what information they have, but the repour of this, good find from Bold there. That's a big piece of info to be found.
Actually, the smoke comes through, potentially allowing Bold to flash, but he chooses not to. They're going to hold strong for the time being. Heretics clock ticking away here, and they have to retake mid. Look at the setup. Ballista here, Lowell going to find QXV. Morphin backside, actually a big swing and a miss here, and the kill's going in favor of Heretics.
Yeah, that was a bit of a whiff, and BST's going to have to go deep on this one. Oh, the swing's not going to happen against Nuki there. You're not going to get away with it. Puts down the molly.
Impressive wiring.
Don't know if it bought enough time. I don't think it has by a decent enough margin. It was close, but a couple more seconds and maybe it would have been worth that nice little molly to go down. But as it stands, that was a very last minute playback in from Heretics, to be fair. And I've got to say it, a little unfortunate with it. I I can't remember who it was either Morphan or Bold with a bit of a miss that's going to cost him there.
Yeah, that was Morphon backside, but the other weird thing there is Karemi kind of over challenges in mid. He was the player in window, set up very, very deep. And ultimately there, I mean, it shouldn't be him taking first contact with Baddie playing Rabbit. Obviously 2 more still on site, so a little strange.
Okay, here we go.
I've got your
Got
trail.
Omen on the way. Both Omens kind of doing the old switcheroo, so keep your eye on that one already. Morphan did find Nookie, which is a huge scalp to be claimed. Now, Avova's done work coming back into this one. Now, Lol has to lean over, but where is that spike? It's with Killjoy, and you can see Avova trying to lean forward, trying to get a little bit of a more aggressive posture, and the timing on this is everything, but QXV gets the better of Avova just before that spike came out. Lol wanted a quick trade, and he gets it. Wall goes up and over we go. Spots out Baddie! But Baddie G is living up to that name.
I do kind of love that name.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? And he plays like this, it makes it even better, you know?
But that half ends 7-5 after a very, very strong start by Heretics. Listen, actually, I mean, this is the one difference on Bind, right? Towards the back end of the second half on Bind, Ballista did ease up. Towards the back end of that half here, they were speeding up. They were getting more and more aggressive. I'm just so intrigued to see how Ballista choose to play this on defense here. Looking initially, actually, just a turret going to hold down a site, and QXV and Baddie G foaming at the mouth to get out into mid, it looks like.
Let's see if they go for it. I mean, it looks like they're very much considering it. BG's already made it down. 3 players down middle right now. You've got a 3-play mid push. Nookie just found Bold, so that's going to, if anything, spur this on, and they want to try and get a little pace to it. Avova so aware and so on point. What? The deep bit of Avova outdid him! Avova! This aim today! And look at the numbers now, it's a 4v2. And yes, Nookie finds Karemi in the back. If you're going to go for it, you got to double down almost, as now Morphan left in a 1v4. And Heretics all too aware of the nonsense that Ballista are trying to get up to, it seems.
Doesn't fly this time around. Going to reveal his position, has to deal with the trap wire there. Spike planted on 8. Nookie just creeps up behind. Another 3k out.
I want to see his score.
Yeah,
I feel like I haven't seen it yet.
He seems to just be running 3Ks today. It just all day.
Show me the scoreboard when we can, observers, pretty please. I want to see what Nookie's been up to. He's been putting up some serious numbers. I love this UI, but it doesn't really show the kills, sadly, which is something that would be really cool to add on, by the way. But for now, it is a big performance from Nookie. You've been seeing consistency and the amount of 3Ks, as you said. He's just been kind of plowing in so much damage coming through, so much value to it. Even in those post plants, just before even trying to get that spike down, he was there. Now, Ballista, the 4-play stack, down C, just full facing. Gonna probably walk through that smoke. It will be Nookie again to potentially just go straight up farming.
This is the thing. It's the same again. They're stacked up. They're pushing to take this orb, but Heretics once again set up to deal with this aggression. First kill comes through. Actually, a 2-for-2 trade here. Spike's still stuck over towards A lobby. Rubino maybe anticipating some aggression on the other side of the map, but Morphan will find Hora. All trades out. Now comes down to a 2v2.
Gold was a little bit chunkier on health. I'd be behind this. This is going to need Kareme to do some incredible work. The time being bought here is great. They've just said, alright, you guys have gone aggressive, you've got your guns. We don't think you're going to get the round. By the time they've cleared this, as they have to, as I said, they've got to put so much utility in on everything. It's going to be incredibly hard to make this one work. If they just play safe angles, deeper corners to clear, you don't need to give away early opportunities. You can see them finally making it towards the site. They've doubled up towards heaven, which is quite an interesting way to approach this. Excuse me, one below in hell, one towards heaven. Rubino first to take a fight. That's going to be Bold. That was the lower HP player of the two. Kareme gets a favourable fight on one below, instantly on the swing. Very well controlled in the end. Went into kind of, okay, we're going into smart mode. Don't be teabagging. Alright, even if it's just, you know, dipping up and down. Honestly, that spray might need to be removed. It's crouching tactically.
It is.
Someone call the police.
I hadn't noticed that actually until you pointed it out. That's exactly what he's doing.
Scary times.
But, I mean, the one saving grace here is They made it cost for Heretics there. So, yes, you could say actually a small victory on the side of Ballista with that
21
aggression.
kills for Nookie, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And just as a measure, actually, we finished last map with 27, right? And this is 9-5
nice.
now, so...
Oh, what a flash! What a flash! Oh, that's incredible! 3 huge kills off the back of one flash, just takes the fight. But Morphan swings out to close it, and hey, it's a round. It's a round, and they can't really get around that by any way considered. So nicely counted, I guess. Just a good bit of play. You'll take it all day of the week.
Seekers online. This was so clean.
1, 2, 3. Bum, bum, bum.
I wish mine did that.
Oh.
It don't.
It. I was gonna say it do be like that, but it don't be like that.
No, it
6 to 9.
really don't be like that.
No. Nice scoreline on the board, of course. Beyond this, though, pistols coming out. Let's see if there's a stack or something a little interesting to play with. It looks like a little bit of a 3-2 split towards A. Very passive hold from Ballista. Probably the right approach, of course. Don't want to get caught off by the pistols. Kind of play it as a collective instead. Probably will at least get them a spike plant at this point.
But this is the thing. Whenever they have Seekers, this is on the previous Haven map as well, they always play retake on A. So expect them to send 2 up and try and burst out of heaven. So you actually hit. Go for it, but nobody really in a position to capitalize on just due to that wall coming through. So, Bold! What? No way!
He just Batmaned them. He just dropped down and got 2. 1 I'll allow. 1 is enjoyable. 2.
Okay. And this is the beauty, right? You pop Seekers, you die in the round, you're already 3 out of 6 again. Because he drops down, gets the 2 kills, dies, gets the 3rd ult or back. So he's already 50% progress back onto Seekers.
That second kill, that adjustment, dude. I could watch that. Like, just give me that replay, slow it down. Just all day long. Just... So we've seen Batty G being nuts. Now we're getting Bold coming online. Like, how deep is this team? Now, the one thing I will say is that QXV is having a bit of a mare on Jet right now. Simply not enough kills on an agent that is meant to be able to create so much space, get in your face, kind of play it out. Not seen quite enough yet of that. Maybe on the side switch we'll see more, but I haven't been in love with it yet. Again, you know, it's not quite NA. We are able to kind of critique players here, and they won't be too sad about it yet. But we are going to be seeing at least a little bit of a lean towards A. 3 players trying to progress through, and as you said, they do traditionally play retake towards that site.
Well, the 2 ultimates that dictate that are the run it back and the Seekers. So again, Batty G now to get himself up into a position set up for this. And actually, Heretics still creeping. No, don't get challenged. Actually, that's a little weird. Usually, would have seen somebody at least peek onto this, try and get a cheeky kill before the spike goes down. There's the run it back popped. Actually, immediately shut down the overall fight. QXV on top of that, and another Karemi falls.
This is perfect from Heretics, so they've been able to slice this right through. Morphan wants to do it again. You only get it once. Abova's had enough of that. The wall well placed, and the running back found nothing, almost no information too.
That there for me is a perfect example of zero respect, right? You get absolutely dominated on the retake in the previous round. Next round, okay, we're gonna walk at A. We're gonna walk at A again. And that time, I mean, it was clean from Heretics to hold on to that. Again, as you know, Ballista not really challenging at all. That's the problem. You don't really have any way to stop them pushing forward and getting set up in terms of getting a body into hell, getting the wall down over the spawn door, things like that. As the QXV,
Ooh, ops out.
Yeah, the operator's out.
We'll see how they utilize this. I almost want to see him just post it up, not necessarily on his own, but you know, once they've cleared this much, kind of leave him here and allow the Omen, allow AG a little bit more freedom to maybe play off the back. But we are seeing Heretics taking this mid control. Ball goes up, showing at least intention to actually kind of hit this. However, we know where the spike is. It's still towards C long. It hasn't caused too much of a rotation yet.
Oh, and actually the alarm bot being dealt with is going to pull Karemi all the way over to C site to join Bold. Will find a kill. That flash actually not landing anything. Nuki actually playing perfectly. Anti-flash onto that one and comes out on top of it this time. But again, Karemi swings. Find another. Pora finally trades out.
No more meddling.
Wolfhound's turned up in time, though.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, that shot is just filth. Lol surrounded, and maybe this is the return. Ballista waking up. Here we go. We've got a bit of a game on our hands here.
And actually making defense look much better this time around, and really they're not playing incredibly proactive, which would have been my expectation,
One enemy remaining.
especially considering how it went for them on map 1. This time around, it's a very well-rounded setup from Ballista. I'll be honest. They're reacting perfectly off the information. Again, they're not being baited out in rotation as we saw there on B site.
Looks like we have a timeout coming in. Imagine it'd be a Heretics timeout at this point. You've just had a couple of rounds not going your way. Maybe time to just take a second, talk it through, kind of regather that idea. I mean, it was nice to be, I don't say bailed out. Bailed out is the wrong word, but you had Nuki having a belter of a game. Now, it's hard to keep doing that. It's hard to keep that pressure up. It's hard to just, it's hard to hold someone to that standard of, well, you've just got to keep getting 3Ks. If Nuki can't keep, though, onto that pace, we might see a different game come out, because Nuki has been a difference maker. Now, once again, UXV back into this, however, with that op still in play, allowing the progress to happen down towards A long. We'll see what Ballista get up to this time, if there's any more aggressive leans anywhere.
Bold one away from the Seekers again. I keep mentioning that just because it's such a huge playmaker for Ballista, and the way that they play, the way they're able to stack up and kind of, I mean, zerg their way onto some of these retakes, honestly. All right, actually, Aldo are going to find nothing into on B. Actually, Pora,
so well
equipped. Yeah, we'll find the first two. QXV will trade out, but the damage already done.
Yeah, and look at this progress. It's just fast. They know that there's a bit of a flank coming on, or at least one player left towards it. Instantly take that side control. Spike goes down. Okay, sorted. Now, post-plant it was a 2v3, now a 2v4. That gets a little bit tougher. UXV, not going to be the first to get the contact. It will be Karemi. Rubino just wins out in this. Now the 1v4. UXV, the chances are extraordinarily slim. No one's giving opportunities. They've got that crossfire instantly on that entryway towards B. The two extremities being held between, you know, Raze kind of patrolling and the Sova out there. Yeah, QXV opting to back away. Probably the best choice in this one. Maybe just keep that rifle going forward. If not, did he have the op here? Maybe just switch it out for a rifle in the retake. Might try and recover that potentially. But as said, Heretics kind of fall back to an excellent read on the aggression that Ballista tried to pull off for once. They kind of, I feel, almost overextended. It's a hard balance. It's an incredibly fine balance. They pushed all the way towards the attacking side spawn, and of course we had Pora waiting so patiently.
You can see there again, though. He gets the first two, and he's always like, it's not like, surely there's not another one. Pulls out the knife. QX3 trades it. Heretics onto 11 now. Ballista again set up for this a long drift.
Oh, Omen's a little further ahead. Okay, that was Fatty G just up to the fight, apparently. And to be fair, QXV was completely isolated. Omen completely cut him out of that fight, I'm pretty sure. But now they're still holding on to this. The crossfire's still in play. They hadn't seen Morphan down in sewers yet, and QXV gets a freebie. Doesn't quite land it, a bit of damage, but Morphan goes forward. He progresses on the fight here.
TP to safety. Nuki, last man standing for Heretics, does have the spike in hand. This alarm bot to pick him up, though. He goes, so information revealed. QX3 going to push all the way through lobby. I think Nuki might have just heard sound cue on that. Warfan going to pick up a heal all the way over in spawn. Again, has to deal with a little more utility once again, and Karemi will finally swing onto that. But again, it's the A setup this time around. Heretics push a little further forwards inside, but Addy, the playmaker, once again.
I almost want to give a little bit of credit there as well to Morphan. Just, as I said, finally showing the hand of playing through sewer just works out so well, because they've been so used to at least noting the presence towards long, but then him being that, like, additional factor, it's another angle to clear, which is incredibly difficult. You're always going to be at a slight disadvantage. You have so many angles to clear. Ultimate popped quickly. Nuki is on the run, but he doesn't check his corners. Morphan, right place, right time. And now once more, he's going to get more too. Keep in mind, this buy was a little bit here and there. Rubino's got a rifle. The rest are a little bit scrappy, but it's been manhandled.
Yeah, Rubino 20 HP, just wait for something to come to him. Flash comes through, and again, it's stack up. QXV and Baddy G gonna sweep through. That spike down. Pora. Last man, Molly. Perfectly timed comes through, anticipating exactly where Pora's going to be lurking. Ballista read the setup now.
You can see there is a gun around. Yeah, the spike. Pora still takes down QXV and Bald. And now a 1v2. No. Oh, he's invested the ult into this. 2 bullets left in the mag. He's going to have to hit that reload. He knows there's now a player close. He knows Baddy G is close by, and Baddy G will push. Time to adjust. Get over towards C, but the cross could be a problem. Let's see if the angle is already held. Baddy G is there. It's a deeper angle, so you can't clear it easily. But he gets the spray, but now the 1v1. Killjoy slipped towards the site, though. Did Pora note this? I don't think he knows he is. He doesn't know he's there. And oh, Kareme just holding on to this round. You could see that spiraling there.
Good, but again, though, just no repeat from Kareme. Baddy G, he's got the cross. As soon as that information comes through, Kareme's in position to swing onto that. So, again, just a little bit loose on the setup there.
I'm amazed he wins this fight when QXV should have seen that gun just like get hoovered away somewhere.
Yeah.
But Pora just takes the fight and wings it. And bear in mind the adjustment off the back. Okay. Jet back on the op. Here we go. Jet mains around the world, holding their breath here, going, come on, dude. Make it work. Make us look good here. And it's the first time... Baddy G, I mean, there's being bold and there's just walking straight mid. Now, there we go. QXV does connect towards Nuki, but will lose out on that peek towards middle now unless he re-clears it. Morphan gets checked on this time. Heretics are starting to really go through the motions here. They're not letting them get away with the same sort of scenario, but Bald's taken so much space. Look how trapped in he is.
They popped the Seekers there, so all this information should have gone across. I'm not sure why. Why
is Killjoy still...
Yeah. Not sure if it was dealt with so early that they don't want to read too heavily into where those Seekers went, but... Both actually going to pop the TP behind Platt. This is open for the taking. Yeah, it deals with Bold at the end of long as well.
A really good TP, considering they knew roughly where Bold was after the sprays. The TP there gives him a favorable fight. Otherwise, that cross through garage would have been so disastrous, deadly. Now, popping the ult here, QXV, we're feeling a little, not necessarily silly, but it's feeling kind of bad because you got to back away from this now. There is no doubling down. You've got a lot of guns and weaponry to take through to that next round, and this has been won out by some really good play. I've got to give credit there to Avova for this one.
Yeah, for sure. It's, actually a perfect read on it. I'm going to save these weapons across. I mean, it's going to be difficult. We can take a quick look at the economy coming back into this, but I'm going to put Heretics on map and series point. QX3's, again, ultimate not available. Morphan has his. Remy also has the lockdown, which I'm fairly confident he's had since, what, the 4th round of this half?
I've not seen them utilize that by any means. I guess it's one of the kind of, I'd say downsides. I guess it's hard to implement when your team's aggressive to a degree. Obviously, he's not necessarily the most aggressive player there, but it gets trickier to be in the right place for it if they've already pushed up and died, for example. It gets a little tougher to make that kind of come through. But again, if you're not using your ults, it's just going to waste. But now, though, 12 rounds to Heretics to the 10 of Ballista. And you can see QXV deciding he wants to be the game changer now. New look. Last time it was Morphan here with a rifle. Definitely noted a player.
Here.
And he can post up on this angle. They don't need to keep these players dedicated to this if they have full faith. But the drone going to come through. Notes him. Has to back away now. Very well done. Good mentality of clearing this one out. Now that will be a re-aggress, it looks like, coming through. But you can already see the lean and that work towards middle.
Now, still 3 players invested on A. Again, with QX3 holding that angle, it's unnecessary. There's such a gap elsewhere on the map, and I guess this is Ballista just wanting to opt for that retake on either C or B.
Bomb grenade out.
I guess it gives them a fast flank, but they're not utilizing that. They're going to peel back away around towards connector. Spike is surely going to cross pretty soon. Kareme going to try and pop down one of the mollies in towards this one. Maybe try and keep some information going. Spike is currently loose. They've actually not opted for this yet. They've got 35 seconds. They want to secure some of these avenues of approach. This is probably a good idea, but finally Killjoy gets to come in on the map to... Uh-oh! That's scary time. Suddenly, Ballista comes online with 3 quick kills, and Heretics have lost all that side progression that they once had. Nuki tries to fight back in with a wild spray to the second, doesn't get it, but there's a retake coming through. Finally, we said we were waiting to see Kareme use that ult. Good timing.
Will prevent that push, and actually looking at it now, I was talking about economy previously, it's Lowell who's going to be looking bare, to say the least. 2200. Have to come into this. It looks like he's actually going to opt for the Ghost and full utility, full armor. 11-12 now. This is for Ballista to keep the map going. Force overtime. Nothing on the board in terms of ultimates for either team here. Nuki actually the closest, alongside Baddy G. Well, it goes without saying, Baddy G's always close to his ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to never be away from him. Does he just get a free start now? I like what they've done here. They've pushed Jet up a little bit aggressively towards C long. Gonna leave the op towards that. Just leave him there, and now they can stack out towards A. Yes, it's a gamble towards B, but in a buy round, it feels unlikely you'd go to it, especially between OT and going to the full way in this. Nuki has found Baddy G, but it's a 2-for-1 trade out, but Heretics have yet to progress towards the side because there's a stack here, keep in mind. You've still got Morphan around. You still have that Killjoy up as well towards Hell, and now you've got Sky coming on over. Jet's finally leaning this way, but they have no information on the rest of the map, but neither do the Heretics. Now they've hit the brakes and allowed Nuki to work, and he's found one. Sky's now dead. The ultimate just goes by. Doesn't quite find the target, but Morphan's readjust here. Should have this all under control, unless Pora does something unthinkable. A 1v3. 40 seconds is a lot of time to play with.
My eyes are down.
Camera's now down.
How many times?
What did he do?
How many times have we seen it, though?
30
Who you got,
seconds
Bora?
left.
Still stacked on A. All 3 of them.
You kind of have to respect it. You've got numbers to play retake, but this gives him freedom. He doesn't know this. Pora doesn't know how much freedom he has to readjust it. If he can cross through this or get one on the way. No, okay, Pora's lost that chance. Jet now moves in, finds one. He knows Jet's on top and one still over towards that kind of connector side. Pora can potentially win this unless they double face. Oh, he gambles it and Kareme just finds the right place. It looks like OT is on the cards.
Good stuff from Ballista there, and actually staying as a pack. QX3 coming in, and actually, you know, that's what we wanted to see from QX3 on attack. To be honest, it's the first real, I guess, on screen at least, where we've seen him create some space in that retake. Been kind of on the shoulders of Bold and Baddy G, but Ballista will tie it up. Round switch comes through, or at least the team switch comes through, obviously. A little bit of a mental reset here. Ballista, they can continue that success they found to the back end of their attacking half here.
Hey.
Heretics. It again, we've seen a half that looked like they had this kind of sorted. Off the back, a little bit of Nuki's heavy performance. It was an over performance, but it was a good one. But look at Avova finding so much room. Avova's been really solid as well. I don't want to take him away from this at all. He isn't necessarily, you know, getting all the kills, but the kills he gets are the ones that potentially get you around. And now he's got a free pick at the start. Backed away. They have to now re-clear this using all the utility that maybe they wanted for that site hit. So again, this is really nice work from Avova.
The other thing is, he finds these kills and it's more often than not going unpunished. He's getting that man advantage. And it's untraded. He's always escaping. So he's going to try and walk this smoke, but bold, ready for it. The pop with the flash as well, but the slow is perfect. Rubino and Lowell find kills. Nuki as well in mid. Last man standing, Karemi. Ballista here. Does have the spike in hand, but a 1v4 is a tall order.
Extremely well positioned. Nuki catching that B flank as well. He was sat on that left tucked corner, perfectly waiting for anyone to come walking through. I'm pretty sure he even would have seen Omen just trying to put any bit of work down, and Nuki now can just wait. Again, these favorable angles. He is just playing a good game right now. Nuki putting on a show, and the first one does go cleanly to Heretics here in OT.
Match point.
That's Nuki's 30th.
Not bad.
And a blinding game, a fantastic map one, and continuing through. I said it, you know, somebody was going to have to be that same role that Nisal was previously. Fight fire with fire. Really put up a fight against the Ballista aggression. He's absolutely delivered.
13-12. It's do or die for Ballista. There is the lower run. This is the group stage, but you don't want to be staring down at this already. A close game, but it just slipping through the fingertips. But maybe there's still a chance. A similar look coming out from the attacking side now, of course, of Heretics. 2 in a row gets you the win in OT. Easiest way to explain it without any nonsense. 1-1, we go again until it's done. Bold does take that C-long space, but he's getting a fight for that, and I like that. Still showing presence so they can't overly rotate or stack, and even that little drive-by headshot is going to add to matters. Now Heretics have taken a lot of room towards A. The site looking clear. They don't have to expend all of their utility. They can just put down, you know, the standardized smokes, keep a little for that post plant, because you know this retake is going to have a lot of legs to it.
Once again, though, nobody contesting this. It's going to give Heretics free reign to set up as they wish. Look how long Lowell holds onto the wall there. Actually, it manages to reinforce behind the smoke. So, again, more time. A triple flank coming through from Ballista. He finds the first, but Baddy trades.
It's a little scary post plant. Considering they've got players stuck towards sewer and then stuck towards the kind of corner on site, this can get a little bit disastrous, and Baddy G's making light work of it. Spotted out the Cypher, but Pora does well. Finds Morphan, and there's Lowell holding on. This looks like it's all but done for Heretics. Lock it down in OT.